Hey,
I was
everybody,
trying to
welcome
give him a
back.
screenshot.
Oh, yeah, give me a screenshot. And then I'll cut them out and change the pictures of us. My Michigan sweatshirt. Stepbrother went there.
All
Oh.
right. Sorry, I interrupted your intro.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
He's
Hey,
on
but you know what? We're over the 100 hump. We're at 105.
105 people clicked
Mm-hmm.
like on us.
No, they clicked subscribe. We have a lot more likes.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
We
everybody,
are
welcome to another podcast. This is Pocket Change. No, it's not. I don't know why I said that. This is
pocket
it is
change
Pocket
reselling.
Change.
It is.
Yeah.
It's pocket change reselling.
Yes. I get confused. I get too much going on. This headset thing's weird. Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Pocket Change, episode 102. I moved a couple of the other ones around, so you're going to add 3 regular episodes in a row because I want to make sure that we're getting these out on Tuesday for the previous week. Got out of sync, so we were doing these Tuesday, and then I had put a picker pass in there for Friday. But then because we're out of sync, I moved another regular episode to Friday. And then I had the picker pass for Tuesday. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and push that till Friday. And we'll do this one on Tuesday. That makes sense to me.
I
I
really
think you
don't.
guys should get this on Tuesday because it's talking about the previous week. I think getting it on Friday is too far out for the previous week.
Maybe. That might be. It makes more sense. However you want to do it. You know, you're the boss on these, so you just take it and run with it, buddy.
I think this shirt's hanging down. I feel like I'm like, the dancing thing.
Show me some shoulder.
I know. It's weird. It's like I'm trying to be sexy.
I think our sexy days.
Flash dance for love.
I seriously think our sexy days are long gone, brother. I mean,
Hey, so there's an app for singing. I forget what it was called, but I downloaded it. It really does make you sound better. It changes the tone, the speed and tone of the song to where you can sing. I can sing pretty good, but I can't sing high. So you have to check that out. You can already sing. You got an album.
probably, folks. And Mike probably proud of me, but I am going to try to give this up here soon. My next batch is going to be zeros because I have noticed it is destroying my singing voice finally, and I decided we should rather have more.
Yeah, I'm quitting dipping because I have been wheezing and coughing too much. I cough like an ungodly amount, and doing this podcast made me realize it because I never realized it before. I said, "You cough all the time." Like, no, I don't. I'm fine.
I think
I'm
smoking
not dipping enough.
and dipping, I think all that stuff. I told my wife the other day, I said, I think that's
So
it.
I'm not giving up on nicotine now. So I went to these pouches. They definitely work better.
I'd be a little leery of that, and here's why. Everybody thought this was going to be the miracle thing. It wasn't going to affect you at all. And
But you're still putting stuff in your lungs. But it's, I can't. I went
yeah,
all in because there was a great deal if you bought them online. So
he went all in. $1 a can.
no, they were more than that. But they're like $6 a can. But if I bought them online, I got 50% off. I don't know. I ended up with $90 worth. It'll probably last me 6 months.
If
I bought
you,
high level ones all the way down to the low level ones. So I'm going to try to wean myself off nicotine. I tried to quit nicotine just straight up, and I would kill a small child. Luckily, I don't have one because it's just
I
I need
started,
nicotine.
and I know we're getting way off, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you something. I started storing my what I call my runoffs. So in other words, when the thing gets too full, and bleeds into the actual fire, whatever electrical thing, I have to dump it off because I still have to drip on this thing. Otherwise, it hits hot for me. So just to show you what that ends up looking like, this is the pour offs.
No, that's not. That's what's going in your lungs,
That
brother.
is what's going in your lungs. It looks like motor oil. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at getting off of this mess sooner rather than
Me
later.
too. And Mike Metco, he quit smoking, man. He just quit. He just quit. I can't. I've tried that. I can't quit. I just can't quit nicotine. I've been dipping since I was 11 years old working on a farm. I was chewing tobacco back then. And I've been doing it now, and I'm going to be 52 in January. And that's way too long. So 41 years of nicotine is probably not good to do.
I think you hit a wall. I think you hit
Yeah,
a wall
I
with it.
have. I feel I have. I'm like, it never really bothered my lips or anything. And then all of a sudden, actually being not working, because at work you can't really chew tobacco constantly. So for the last 4 months, I've been a reluctant reseller. I've been chewing tobacco nonstop all day. And then I got to the point where my gums were hurting. I'm like, what? My teeth were hurting. Actually, my gums were hurting, so I stopped. Now my teeth hurt a little bit because I stopped. I think because they're like, hey man, where's the nicotine? I don't know. Maybe my whole face will fall off, and maybe we can do an episode of like, I don't know. I was watching. Have you watched the Chimp Crazy? If you haven't watched Chimp Crazy, you should watch it.
I've not watched Chimp Crazy.
It's
I
on
don't
Max.
watch as much. I don't watch as much TV as you do.
It's on Max. I probably watched too much TV, but I watched that with my wife because we were watching some New Year's Eve thing, and they were like, "Oh, one of the highlights of the year was Chimp Crazy," so we started watching it. This lady has like she like takes over this chimp reserve, and then PETA comes and takes the chimps from him, and one of the chimps dies. And then like for the next two episodes, you think the chimp is dead until the court case goes through, and then she's like, "Whoo, we won!" And then she runs downstairs and hugs the chimp. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" But at the same time, there's somebody else doing a. So the woman talks way too much because they're doing a documentary, and the guy is pretending like he's on her side, but really he's the one that's trying to figure out whether the chimps are dead or not. It was really good. And then like people get their face ripped off and shit. Don't get a chimp. You shouldn't have a chimp. No one should have a chimp. Any of the primates, gorillas, chimps,
Unless you
big
get
monkeys.
it for $1, sell it on
No, even if you get it for $1, get rid of it.
anyway. So, wow,
Chimp
folks.
Crazy. If you haven't seen it, watch Chimp
I've
Crazy.
not seen it. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't watch. I watch particular shows, and when those,
I
I
know
mean,
Becker. Just watch this Becker.
and I love.
That guy's a curmudgeon like you.
Here's the big thing. So my wife loves TV. I don't. I would prefer to be doing something. I will watch YouTube. I don't watch YouTube TV. I watch YouTube, and I watch particular shows on there. Like I've really gotten into the one, and you guys may shoot me, but it's a bearded thrifter or something like that. I'd have to go. It's one of the beard ones. He's out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
It
It,
should be the beard king picker, damn it. Not any of the other beard. He's the only bearded one that matters.
I just started watching this one, and I got into it now. But
It's
anyway,
not the bearded thrifter. It's beard something thrifter because you told me, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this
yeah,
video. This guy ain't that good. And then what you were telling me about, I saw on another one of his videos. So it's like beard something thrifter. There's too many bearded thrifters.
there's a
But
lot of bearded
if you watch a
thrifters.
lot of the videos, most of us thrifters have beards. So none of them
Quite a
though.
few of us,
Alex
actually.
Alex has the best beard in the business. So screw the rest of them. Shit.
Bearded Thrift Machine out of
There you
Myrtle
go.
Beach, South Carolina. Bearded Thrift Machine. That's what I looked it up. That's who I've been watching a lot of here lately. And I don't know. He runs a course a lot like most of us, and a lot like a lot of the programs here on YouTube. So it's not like it's special. It's just maybe something different I've stumbled on that's caught my eye. One that caught my eye last evening that I watched was one where he went to Goodwill and ended up putting everything back. So I watched the whole program to find out why, because I thought maybe it's go the way that you and I have had some issues with Goodwill.
Mm,
No, it turns out their cash registers were down, and he couldn't buy the stuff, so he didn't want to wait, so he put it back. But apparently, Goodwill is going through a lot of changes, folks, from shopgoodwill.com all the way to the Goodwill stores. I know we talk about sourcing here a lot with different places, so we can bring this up right now if you want to here at the beginning. For me, it's gotten to where the pricing has gotten out of whack. Their shipping is incredibly out of whack. That's what got Ben's was really the shipping. And he was like, look,
mm,
I'm not paying you shipping on 70 pounds for a 3 pound item. It's
yeah.
crazy. You have to watch that. That's why now, if you go and buy anything, shop Goodwill, you have to really check the shipping before you even bid, because you may be like, that's a great deal. That item's great. I can get it, and I know I'm going to get it at this price because nobody else is bidding on it, and it's only got an hour to go. And then they nail you with 80 pounds worth of shipping on a 2 pound item, and all of a sudden you're paying $90 for an item that's only worth $80 just because of the shipping. So those are things you have to watch out. Now, what got me so upset, and I'm a little bit upset with them because I've done a lot of, you know, buying on there as well. What got me so upset is I get an email the other day that said your bid has been retracted and item relisted, and I got dinged on January the 3rd for an item that I supposedly bid on back in September the 29th and didn't pay for. And I'm like, that didn't happen. I went back to all my records. I looked, yeah, the bid matched up. Yeah, the numbers matched up. But I had over to the side, because you guys know how I am with my spreadsheets. It said outbid, which means whatever. So I took a snippet of it. I sent customer service right to the store. They actually came back and said yes and apologized. And supposedly the ding's been removed from me because basically the person that overbid me did not pay. And somehow all of us that bid on that item, there was 5 of us, got dinged because the person who actually won it didn't pay. And while I'm glad that it got fixed, it upsets me a little bit that I got dinged. I actually had to contact, and they don't have a central customer service, as Ben's will tell you. You have to go to
Yeah.
each store location, contact them, and then nobody is over these managers. It's completely up to them if they want to fix the situation or not. Now, luckily, this person actually apologized and said, I put it in wrong. I didn't mean to. I ended up, I'm sorry, I dinged all 5 of you. It should have just been this one person. My thing is this, that should never have happened. And we can argue things do happen, got it. But what about the other 3 that are innocent? What if they don't contact or know to contact or whatever? And that person, you see what I'm getting at? It's a bad setup. Now I bought some.
It's a shitty setup because one time I didn't pay for 8 things, bought them from the wrong place, tried to make it right, and they weighed 2 pounds apiece. And you're allowed to have 20 pounds in a box. So if you'd have put them all together, it was only 16 pounds, but they were saying, oh, they got to be shipped individually.
Yeah,
And then they wanted to charge me like $18 shipping on 8 different things instead of $18 one time. I say, hey, combine them, I'll buy them. But you know what? I thought I was on Tampa and I was in somewhere else. Was started with a T,
Tallahassee. It's Tallahassee.
Tallahassee. And then they were like, no, you got to pay for them. I'm like, no, I won't. And then ban. I got banned. And then, oh, okay, started a new account, got banned. I've had 5 accounts since then.
The big
And
thing
I'm currently banned. And you know what? I'm done with them. I'm done with them.
I don't the big thing too is just like I heard that the bearded thrift machine talk about, and he was like, you got to be so careful at Goodwill these days because the prices, they have decided that stuff they get for free. And I'm not knocking it. Again, they do a lot of good. They do a lot of good. The problem is they have raised prices so much, and then they got the shipping on there that it's become harder for us as resellers to source there and find anything. So we're going to have to start looking at other places, folks. Is what I'm telling you. Number
No,
one, their system's
yard
crap.
sales.
Their system is crappy. You can get dinged and you didn't have anything to do with it. And I proved I didn't have anything to do with it. And that guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm da 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 da. I'm removing it." The other thing is it doesn't keep up with your dings. There's no way of knowing if you've been dinged before or not. And then
Yeah.
think about an email from 9/29 to January the 3rd. That's absurd. Try that in any other business. You will get your butt reamed. I'm sorry, but that's what'll happen. So Goodwill is going down the crapper for resellers. Now, it may still be a great place if you need, but here's the thing. I would venture to bet that over the years, because if you go look, every reseller has shopped at Goodwill.
Hmm.
Every reseller. If you're a reseller of any, I would venture to say everyone, because if you go look at YouTube and you're looking at all this stuff, just about everybody has done it. And would be amazing to me how much money we as resellers has actually spent on Goodwill over what, a decade? I think, and maybe even only 2 years, 5 years. Don't even go back 10 years. And I think they're hurting themselves big time. And they've even got to where I saw one where they're starting to hang up signs in their stores that says limit 5 items only per transaction. I saw this on
What?
one other reseller. He literally filmed it in his local Goodwill store. It said limit 5 items per transaction. He was like, I come in here and get a buggy and load up and spend
At
four
least
or
you want
five
you to
hundred
buy as much
bucks at
as you
one
got.
time.
Yeah.
But now they're limiting me. He said, and it's because the manager here hates resellers. So there again, there's the thing. I'm not swearing them off. I'm not gonna quit looking, but I am starting to buy other places, and I know Ben's is as well. Probably a lot of you guys listening, if you're just getting started, you're gonna have to. If it's a great place, it's easy to buy from. It's also easy to get screwed and lose your shirt too. But I get that out of the way. That's a little bit of. I still say it's a decent place to score some items at,
Yeah.
but you're gonna have to be even choosier, if that's a word. More choosy. I don't know which is the right word there. Somebody can tell us in the comments. Some.
Very selective.
grammar Nazi. Yeah, you're going to have to be more selective. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And then you're going to have to expand your sourcing capabilities. For me, it was great for a while because working all the hours of work and everything, I could just get on there, bid on some things, and get some things in and keep them going. But it did lessen my margins. Whereas Ben's is buying stuff at yard sales for $1, I might spend $4, $5 on it at Goodwill,
Yeah.
and so it lessens my profit margins.
The only
So
thing I bought at Goodwill was lots of stuff, a whole bunch of hockey pins or whatever stuff that you could buy at pennies a piece and then sell for a couple dollars. But I need to. That's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about our plan for this year, which we'll get into. But let's do our performance this week. So, how was your performance this week?
performance this week was pretty decent. Let's see, performance this week. Okay. Which will be December 29th through January 4th. Apparently was up 485%. Yeah, it's not really that great. You're talking about numbers. Okay, so total sales was $92.75. I ended up pocketing $62.26 is what it's telling me. Average sales
Hmm.
price was $30.92, and I sold 3 items. So not a bad little comeback, especially with the store being on autopilot right now. Because again, and folks, we all know, please don't put hate comments in there. And we've been over this. We know it. I've beat this dead horse. Autopilot does not work. It doesn't work very long, but it is right now for what it is because I've got a crunch time to get this eBay room done, and I will reveal it once it's at least in a working condition. It will not be finished because we're not going to finish remodeling the basement here, as you can see behind me, for probably another year or two. But it's going to be in working condition. Yeah, I got to have that done by this Friday. We've got a good ways to go, but got a lot done. We will reveal it. Like I said on the show, we got a lot of asks for it to be revealed. So we'll do that. And then once
Cool.
that's done, we will be coming off of autopilot. I've actually tinkered with moving my bench. Like I got one like yours down
Hmm.
here and using it as a shipping station like you
It's a
did.
great shipping station, man. It works out very well. Or just get an extra one. They're only $90.
Yeah, but that's $90, and I'm draining my eBay account right now to do
Yeah,
one.
true. That's what I got to look at when I'm moving. What am I moving? What am I taking? Do I leave it set up here? I'll leave it set up here for the wife. She says she's going to ship. I'm not feeling 100% positive about that. I think she means what she says. Don't take it wrong. But after 20 items, she'll be like, "Yeah, this is your hobby." I've heard that before, so I'm not stressing over it. My performance this week was decent. I haven't been listening to anything because I've been busy trying to get the storage unit to a good place and everything in the garage to a good place. When I move February 1st, I don't have to worry about that, which is coming up quickly. This week I sold $654.11. Of that, I had 52% selling costs because a lot of I was selling super cheap
Mm-hmm.
and shipping ate me up. So 52% of that. So I ended up with like $322 in my pocket. So I can't complain. Sold 24 items. Average selling price was $27.10.
I beat you on average selling price.
I've been selling a lot of cheap shit. So makes
Yeah,
sense.
me too. What was it? Mike was talking today by text. He said, I'm going to go list my $250. I said, good for you, Mike. If I list $250, I'll list everything in my store.
Nah, that's what I try to list today, 250.
Yeah, but my stuff is cheap, man. Most of my items are cheap. Let's face it. I'm down there. I like to get up, where I think your average item is what, around $50? Your average, like across your whole store, if you were to take an average, probably about around $50. Is that about
No,
right?
I don't think so. No, I think it's probably around 25.
Yeah, mine's like around $7, I think.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, keep going with your performance. But you still put 300. How much? What'd you say? 300 what?
$322 in my pocket.
Okay, it's not bad.
Yes, I can't complain. You know
And
what? I didn't list anything this week. I've been busy. And then probably the next couple weeks, I'll be busy. I start my job Monday. So let's see how that goes. And then I'm looking to move to Savannah beginning of February. But we'll talk about that when we get to what our plan is for the year. What's your goal? What are you trying to get to? So the other thing we have of our normal stuff is what was your sale of the week?
my sale of the week. My sale of the week would have to be to my buddy Mike. I had another sale, but Mike bought two things from me, and so that made it my sale of the week because the two things there. Thanks, Mike. Mike and I go back and forth, and I even told Mike, I was like, Mike, you're a buddy of mine. If you want it, I'll be glad to anything I got, dude. And he was like, no, man, I could read the text too, but he said he just wanted to. He liked the items and he wanted to contribute to the eBay room and the success
There you
there. And
go.
so I was like,
He's a good
well,
guy.
all right, Mike is a great guy. But so
I told
he,
you, you were like, "Oh, I'm going to refund him all his money." I'm like, I think you'll probably offend him if you do that.
yeah, I don't want to, I don't like
You don't
offending.
want to offend him. And you know what, Mike? Thank you for supporting Joel and helping him
Absolutely.
build his room.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so he bought a pocket watch from me.
I just need to say one thing. This is like the third or fourth listener sale, and I've had none. Am I that shitty of a host that everybody wants to support this fella and not me? Come on.
Is
And
if
now,
I,
Mike, you don't buy nothing from me because I'll cancel it. That's not my point. I will. I'll cancel that shit. I get plenty of stuff. I'll cancel it. Don't buy nothing from me. But my point is he that much better of a salesman?
I might
I
just
think
be
he is.
better looking.
Well,
Not
that's debatable.
kidding.
If we get 10 people together and we debate it, you know what that is? That's a mass debate. So I don't like the mass debate in front of people. So let's move on.
Anyway,
Family show.
but that would be now. I am going to talk about my other one because I'm proud of that as well. My other order for the week because I did get three. But yes, thanks, Mike. It was a puffer jacket, puffer vest I've had for a little while, so it was great.
Good.
Made a pretty good week, especially for the fact that it's been on autopilot and sales have been going. You guys know it, so pretty proud. Pretty decent week for me. Not the best week I've had, but best week I've had in a little while.
That's good. That's good.
Since
You're not listing, so that's why.
I'm not listing, I don't even. Lord, if I showed you, if I guys, if you saw the ugly duckling right now, it is piled full of stuff, shipping stuff, packing stuff. I couldn't take a picture in there right now if I wanted to. But it's fine. I think the ugly duckling is going away. If anybody would like to contact Ben's about the possibility of getting for nostalgia for the Smithsonian once Ben's and I go real famous over all this,
Just take it and put it in the corner, and then we can have it. They can take it there and put it up with Kitty Hawk or whatever that airplane does.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
their plane.
Oh,
Trouble's
Lord.
first light box. Come on. Whatever, man. It's
It's
so crazy.
ugly. It is ugly as it can be. It
It
is the
worked though.
ugly duckling. It works great. It takes awesome pictures. It really does. If you don't believe me, go look at some of the artwork pictures that we're taking. It really.
It
Or
does a
maybe
good job.
maybe I shouldn't get rid of it. Maybe I should
You
just put it
shouldn't.
in the other
It's
room.
built into the wall, isn't it?
No, it's just that big.
Okay, I thought it was hooked on the wall. It's just taking up that much space.
It has to set on. Right now, it sets on two sawbucks because that's how
Hmm.
big it is.
The best is ADH Dave. He bought a 7 foot tall light box.
Oh
It's
my
huge. It's like
gosh!
you're gonna take pictures of humans in it. I think it's too big, but it was cool to watch his video and see that thing. I'm like, oh, it makes 4x4 one look very small.
Well, that's pretty much what the ugly duckling is. It's pretty much four
Yeah.
feet by 2 feet deep by 3 feet, and it was made so I could put big paintings in, and I had to put them in because the roof sloped for being able to take pictures, which was a dumb idea because now I have to get way back and still crouch down. But
You gotta get those. You gotta get those. I saw this lady at Walmart yesterday that was coming out, and she had DeWalt knee pads on, just wearing them to Walmart. I'm like, I wonder how she makes her money. That's the
Emily,
impression. I'm just like, why would you not take your knee pads off if you're going into Walmart? And she wasn't like buying like supplies to build stuff. I don't know, but you know what? Let's move on. Okay, that's your best sale of the week? My best sale of the week. I sold a vintage Cuddy Sark British Clipper whiskey bar sign.
mm,
It's pretty cool. It's only like a $40 item. I think actually I sold it for 30 plus shipping. The guy offered me $30. I had it for 40. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. So I shipped that out. It was fun to
5%
ship.
off.
Yeah, 25% off.
I don't go 25% off, folks. If I go 25% off, I'll be paying you.
I know that I paid $2 for it, and I got 30 out of it. So I'm doing all
There
right.
again, my items like $7.
Yeah,
I paid 3 or 4 for. I can't take that much off. Anyway,
that was my sale of the week.
that's
Feedback
awesome.
of the week. What's your best feedback of the week?
I don't have any feedback yet because my last feedback and the items that I've got went out. That Bailey Boo 622, she was the one, I'm assuming that put good item. That was my feedback from last week. So I don't have any feedback yet because the items that I've shipped this past week and the week before have not quite hit yet.
Okay.
The one has been delivered. It was just delivered this past week, and usually, if people haven't, and this is the thing, folks, if people haven't left feedback, and usually in the first 3 days, the chances of them leaving feedback goes way down. Now, it's not impossible. I've had some come back, so I do send a follow up note 10 days after the sale, and I've had some come then. So we'll see. But right now, no feedback, no new feedback. I am at 70 though.
Cool.
So
I'm
I
at
left
I'm at
69.
570. That's weird that you're at the same number, but minus 500.
I left 69 and went to 70. So
That's all right. You know what? That was a sad moment, but you know what? That's fine. My best feedback of the week. Thanks for the quick delivery. Great addition to my collection. Excellent experience. Awesome eBayer. Highly recommend. A pleasure to work with. Now
you can't
that's
read
feedback.
quotes from your wife, man.
No, that's not quite. I'll show the freaking thing. It's from P Racer
I'm
3.
kidding. I'm kidding. I was saying quick.
Stop it. I'm
Damn
not
it.
quick. I'm efficient, damn it. All right. Who was your favorite buyer of the week?
Mike.
Mike Metco. My favorite
Mike.
buyer of the week was Playboy Caprice. Just because anybody that's cool enough to put Playboy in their name, I'm in, right?
I'm in.
I'm in. That's a good name. Playboy Caprice. I would be like,
But why the
so
Caprice? Is that what they drive?
he bought some cars from me. So I do
Ah,
believe that he must be into the Caprice Classic. I don't know, but
he's a car lover. Hey,
he's
sweet.
a car.
It depends on what Caprice. Are we talking about the 70s Caprice or are we talking about the 90s Caprice? Because there's a huge difference between those cars. 70s Caprice, I'm in. 90s Caprice,
His picture. He's older than I am, so he's probably talking about the 70s. I'm just saying. So
that was a cool car.
yeah,
90s Caprice, that overgrown grocery getter, nah, sorry.
there you go. On that. All right. You know what? We're doing good. So what else you got? What'd you learn this week? Learn anything this week?
Oh, let's see. I learned that if you screw through drywall while you're holding it, you need to make sure you keep your fingers out.
That makes sense. Don't screw your fingers. That,
Yeah,
that, because,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. You young boys out there, go ahead and screw your fingers. We're old. We don't need to do that no more. We're married.
Family show.
Hi. You know what?
That went out the window.
Yeah. If you're listening to this with your children, I apologize. And they probably won't get my jokes. I'm hoping. You know.
Yeah, me too. Hope they don't get money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I for 20 years. I don't get most of your jokes anyway, so that's fine.
anyway, so back to where were we at? Oh, did you learn anything? No, I didn't really learn anything on eBay this week. There's really not been a whole lot happening. Let's face it, on eBay. This again is the down season.
Yeah.
Everybody
I,
pushes all once June gets here, you start pushing towards December. It's a push because you realize where you're at your goals, and everybody pushes towards that December. And then once December 15th hits, it's a little bit of a down, like that roller coaster you're coming off. And then by January, you've hit that bottom and you're hoping to come back up. It's January is to me, it's classic sales. It's not a great month. It's the month where you reorganize everything. So not a lot of news, not a lot of learning, but did you learn anything new on eBay?
I did. And I sent myself an email, but I don't see the email. So let's take my glasses off.
You sent yourself an email from eBay. They have an email ability to.
No, I emailed myself. I took a picture and then I tried to email it to myself, but it won't email
Why are you trying to email yourself?
because I wanted to show the picture.
Oh, tell us a little bit about it while you're looking for it.
Let me go into my other email. I got 6 emails. That's the problem.
Gosh. I have two, a personal and a work. That's it.
I keep getting banned from.
Goodwill.
Yes, I got to keep adding emails.
Good thing Gmail and Hotmail's free.
Exactly.
And do they still have Yahoo? Is Yahoo still around? Somebody comment. Is Yahoo still
Yahoo
around?
Mail's still around. Yeah,
Is it still free? Weren't they the first ones to do that? Like free email was Yahoo. Didn't we all have Yahoo email addresses? I don't remember.
I think so. No, everybody had AOL to begin with.
Oh yeah, AOL you didn't use because you knew you were once you hit that 30 hours or 60 hours or whatever your free limit, just getting off of it.
Yeah. So when I lived in Virginia, and my daughter started her own, she got one of those discs, and she did yeah, AOL on her own, and I ended up with, I don't know, like $75 for the charges. And I'm like, what's going on here? But that was cool. You know what? She was very ahead of her time. Okay, here we go. I am going to share this. I learned that you can lose money by canceling an order. So this person bought the wrong car. They sent me a note and said, "Hey, I wanted a 2010. I sent you the thing for a 2004." And then I credited them back, and my order earnings was a negative $1.02.
Now, how does that work? How do you?
I don't know. How do you do that?
So let's go through the transactions there. You got any way to make it a little bigger? Can you
That's
zoom
what she
in?
said.
There we go. Okay, so let's scroll down here. Let's go
I don't
back
want
up
to
to the
scroll.
top.
It was only a $4.69 item with a $5.85 shipping.
Right.
Sales tax. I canceled the order for the whole $11.28.
It doesn't look to me like they refunded the sales tax.
No, they didn't refund the transaction. They add general ad fee. They charged me the general ad fee, even though I didn't sell it.
Wow, they sure did.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So be careful if you have an ad on it. So that's what I learned. And then the guy reordered it and then went, instead of $4.69, he went $4. So I'm like, what are you talking about? So I sent him back $5, and then he bought it for $5. It worked out.
But that is crazy that eBay still charged you even though you did not sell the item at all. You still lost $1.02.
You know what? You told me this once before. You're like, I don't know how, but I sold something, and then when I credited it
Yeah,
back, it cost me $2. What happened? That's what happened,
yeah,
because they're still charging you that ad fee, even though you. Now I don't know. I probably should go back and double check now. Actually, I sent them a note, and they refunded it back to me. And they said, sorry about that. We're glitching the system, because after I canceled it, they sent me a thing. It says, hey, how did this go? And I said, 1 star. Very poorly. I don't know how it cost me $1.02 to cancel an order for a customer and do the right thing. And then they sent me a note back and go, oh yeah, that's a glitch. So double check when you cancel to make sure that you aren't getting charged. You know what? If it's a
yeah.
glitch,
Because my $2 came ended up. I remember what you're talking about, and I had
yeah,
forgotten about it because my $2 ended up coming out in the wash like a few days later, like a week later
yeah,
or so, and I forgot about it because I ended up getting my money back.
yeah,
But
and you maybe that's just a temporary thing, but I don't know if I would have sent them a note if I would have ever got that
yeah, I
money
don't
back.
know.
But I
I don't
definitely
know.
got the money back. You go, oh, that's a glitch. Sorry about that. We went ahead and credited you $1 or two. But I learned that
Yeah.
this week. Be cognizant. That was on a $10 item. If it was a $100 item, that would have been $10,
Oh yeah.
right? ten
Yeah.
percent.
Yeah. That would
So
have been because, and that's the thing is, so it can come back. So that is something to learn and keep in mind, folks, because if you're canceling, now that doesn't mean don't cancel it if the customer says cancel it. Just know that you might need to contact eBay or you might need to do something. Check after a couple days because I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I said it on one of our shows too, one of our early shows. I was like, I can't believe I canceled this and I lost $2 on it. How did
yeah.
that happen? What are you talking about? I
And
mean,
I was like, dude, you're looking at it wrong. But you know what? You weren't, because
no,
I was looking at it right.
but it did end up. I did end up getting a $2 credit a couple days later. I think it was like 3 days later, and it ended up washing out. And
Yeah. I got the credit right away, but I think it's because I complained, or maybe it would have happened anyways. I don't know, but pay attention to that. The bigger the item, the higher you have for a targeted sell. If you're doing some kind of special like 10% or 7%, it could be a lot of money. And I think if it's a glitch, that they're aware of, they could probably fix. But if 10% of the people don't complain, then they get to keep that cash. Maybe they have weird parties.
Maybe they're not fixing it because they know it's a glitch that. But see, there again, you and I've talked too. Is this whole eBay platform, and this is a problem, folks. The eBay platform was constructed like on Linux or DOS back in
Yeah,
the
back in the day.
90s. And some of you
Hmm.
listening may be like, what is the Linux and DOS? God bless you if that's what you're thinking. What is Linux and DOS? But and now they keep doing updates, and a lot of the new stuff doesn't mesh up. It's having problems. eBay actually had talked about just building a whole new eBay site, but there's so much that they can't or they want or something. I don't know. But it seems like it seems like Apple with iPhones, every time they update something, they break something because it doesn't jive. And this may be a known glitch. Maybe they could fix it. Ben's just saying real easy.
Or maybe they can't. I
Or
don't know.
maybe they don't want to.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm not down in eBay. Have sold on every single platform. I only ever got banned on one because I was selling pocket knives and didn't know they were against the rules. And they never sent me a note, and they stole $800 from me. But that's a whole nother story. We won't go into that.
I just want to give a shout out right quick to the guys that I have seen now who are doing YouTube channels who are exclusive Poshmark and what's the other one?
Sorry.
Macari sellers. God bless you. If you're an exclusive Macari seller, God bless you. I bet your sales are crappy right now. But I just want to say a shout out to those folks. Good for you. Even though
Hold on.
eBay
I
has
got,
its
I got something
problems,
to grab. Give me just entertain them for a minute. I'll
you're
be right
fine.
back. I'll probably cut
Even
it out.
though even though eBay has its problems, I would definitely not be an exclusive Macari or Poshmark seller. And not because I have anything against their platforms, really, but Macari right now, we've talked about it in the news. It's very difficult to do anything with them. Hopefully, they're going to be improving. And Poshmark, I just don't want to do so many clothes. I mean, that's the thing. Benz has left the scene here because apparently saying Poshmark and Macari sent him running for the hills. We can take a gander in his room and see if we can see anything good to list. That Forrest Gump video would probably still be a good one. I bet his monkeys at the back would be. I bet we could get some good money for that, folks.
Do what?
For examining items in your room.
There's one here.
All right, so you have something to show us.
Oh no, no. So my kid got this to me for Christmas. It is so good.
King's
Black Label, Kings Creek, Tennessee whiskey cider. So we talked about in the last one. It's only 30 proof, so it's only 15% alcohol. But it's so good. So if you get a chance to get that, my kids know what to get me for Christmas.
drinks. All right, so back to our show here. eBay, with all its faults, is still the number one out there, folks. You heard it earlier. Was it? I think it was Alex that came on and used to work on Amazon, used to sell on Amazon, and
He
now
still sells it. He's mainly an Amazon seller.
okay.
So basically, what he does, so on Amazon, he sends most of his books there. But if he gets anything that's special, like very collectible, or has a signature, or I don't know, he'd have to explain it. But basically, on Amazon, you don't get anything. They just sell the book for what the book sells for. But there's something special about it, like it is signed or very collectible. It doesn't matter. It still sells for the same amount because you just go on the same. There's just one listing.
so he sells that stuff on eBay.
Yeah. And then he was complaining like the last show. He had too many orders to pack. Oh, I feel bad for you, Alex.
Yeah.
Come on. I love it when people are like, oh, it's so much. It's just too much for me to do.
Here we are. He's calling you out, Alex. You might have to come back on the show. Defend yourself here. Oh, wow, man. I'm happy for you that you got all those items too. I wish I had
No, I
more
think he
items
might
to
have been
pack.
sick or there might have been a good reason for him to complain, but suck it up and be a man. Come on. No, I'm just kidding, Alex.
Hey,
Don't you? You got my address. Don't show up here and kick my ass.
I was
I don't
going to
need
say,
that.
Alex, we live in
He's a
two
pretty tough
different
looking
places.
dude.
Oh my goodness. So now that I'm gonna lose my co-host here. Anybody
Yeah.
like to apply for the job? You have to do all the editing.
There's been more than one that came at me, and I'm still here, so I'm good.
Oh, listen at him. It's because he's drinking that cider, folks. It's making him feel 10
I
feet
used to be
tall.
tougher when I was younger. You know what? I was been in the garage, so I moved all that stuff into my storage unit. I've been going through it and moving stuff. There's been a couple boxes I like picked up. I'm like, who the moved this in here? This is way too heavy. VHS tapes in a like 40 by 30 by 20 box is way too many VHS tapes. That thing weighs like, I don't know, maybe 150
Is
pounds. I don't
that
know. I
your
was trying.
that's your 90s
Yeah,
Betamax?
that's my porno. Yeah, that was my Skinaflix buy. I was moving that. I ran into that today.
Have you sold any more of those lately?
I don't have any listed right now because I ran out what was at the house and I need to go get some more and I didn't. So
So if you're looking for unfortunately, if you're looking for old 90s,
look, I'm telling you, they're the greatest thing if you're married because if you're gonna watch pornography with your wife, you want soft core because they don't show, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about any envy. It's.
family,
I'm just saying. No, I'll cut that out. Maybe, probably not.
did
It'll be a short.
mommy.
It'll,
I don't
what
know
do we
where
do here?
you have gone. We need to bring this back on the rails
All
here.
right, back on the rails. We're cutting all that out. Hey, welcome back. Sorry about that. There was a 40-second delay. I don't know what happened there, but it's probably something to do with I don't know. What's that?
Don't say it. Let's just go on. Okay, so we've talked about that. Let's talk about. Let's go ahead because we've been doing this 49 minutes. We're going to cut it down, we know, but let's go ahead and talk about last year and our last year's performance and what our goals are. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start here, folks, because at
talk
the
about last year's performance, and then we'll talk about
well,
what our goals are for this year.
I was going to get into that because I was going to say
Okay.
my goal in 2024, having been a reseller for 4 months, was to do 30 grand
Hmm.
in a year, and I was going to do so well, and this, that, and other. Folks, I'm going to tell you, I did not have the inventory for it. I did not have the time to source the inventory for it. It takes a lot just to get the 30 grand for the year and a lot of setup. Now, that's probably still, we'll see, but let's talk about performance this of 2024 versus the 4 months from last year or from the previous year. So I was up 163%
There you go.
from 2024 over 2023. I did $2,413.20, which is not great. Nobody's going to live off that. You're not quitting your job, but you got to keep in mind that actually has paid a lot for the eBay room that I'm going to show you
Yes.
guys for studding, for wiring, for and it's a lot of it's going back into buying new stuff because I've expanded my inventory and that kind of thing. But that's net sales is up 170.3%. I pocketed $1,255.25 according to eBay net sales. Now, here's the thing. Some of those items I'm probably actually somewhere around, I would say around 900
You have to get
based
your cost.
on because you got to take out your item cost. I did a total of 95 sales for the year, 120.9% up. But you got to remember, it was comparing to like my first 4 months. So this is really not a great gauge. We will see 2025 versus 2024. I expect to see a whole lot of difference. I'd like to see, if we can do the math right quick, I'd like to see it up another 163% this next year. That would be awesome.
You will easily double that next year because you only hit what $2,500.
Yeah, 2413. So
Yeah.
2413
You'll do five. You'll do
times
7 grand next year because you know what you're doing.
163% is only $3,933. So I should do better than that. But all in all, I'm pleased with the year. I didn't get anywhere near $30,000. I'm what just $2,700 or $27,000 shy. But
Just a little bit.
yeah, so nowhere near that. But just going through some of the other stats, total buyers 87. So I had quite a few repeat buyers. That's good. Repeat buyers is an awesome statistic. You want to increase that, especially if you're, I don't care. I was going to say, especially if you're a niche seller, but it doesn't really matter. You want to make sure that you are getting more and more repeat buyers. That's going to help your sales. Let's see. Jewelry made up 32.26% of my sales this past year. Art made 15.27. Clothing. Now this is what's crazy. Clothing was only 4.61%.
But how many clothing? So did you go down and click show more?
You more?
View more. It'll show all of them. So like, I have clothing, accessories, one, two,
Yeah,
three.
so there's 4.61, 3.6. So yeah,
Yeah,
so it's a little bit more than that. Video games was, let's see, make sure there's no more. Yeah, video games, consumer electronics was roughly 5% of my business. I would have thought it
yeah.
had been more than that. That's surprising. Collectibles was 2.35. Home and garden was 2.32. eBay Motors, I did 1.67% on eBay Motors. I didn't even know I did it. So neat to be able to see this. Now, most of my sales, here's a big kicker. If you remember, guys, I got on a big kick starting in July and August. Told you I was trying to get more organized. And August and September and October were my biggest months this past year. I
Cool.
did 60 70% of that $2,400 I did between August, September, and October. Now, believe it or not, January was actually one of my better months last year in 2024. But really, honestly, not bad. Much better than the 4 months previous, the first 4 months, of course. And I'm pleased with it. I didn't hit anywhere near my goals. Probably not going to really say, probably more realistically, based on inventory and being more realistic this time, my goal is probably 10,000 for this year. That's probably more
No,
realistic.
that's a great. That's
I mean,
gonna 4 times what you did. That would be
right.
unbelievable.
That's a good goal, but it's definitely more realistic because I entered 2024 wide eyed and bushy tailed and young on eBay, very young, still young more than a lot of you guys, but I set too high of a goal. $30,000 was unachievable based on my inventory, based on what I had. And I realized that by about May, if you watch our podcast, I had started giving up on the $30,000. I was like, I just don't have what it takes, and I'm not going to be able to even get what it takes to meet $30,000. Because either one thing, you're going to have really high dollar inventory that sells well, or you're going to have a lot of inventory. Ben's could easily do, he probably did $30,000 anyway, but he can easily get there.
I ran into issues, right? So the first, I traveled from
Right.
January till September. I was traveling, everything was on hold. So if I look at my performance for the year, it's nowhere near what I was expecting, right? I had 862 individual sales. 795 of them were first time buyers or one time buyers, and 40 of them were repeat buyers. So 5% of my sales were repeat buyers that bought multiple. And then you start breaking down the categories like you were talking about. But so I have the number one category is toys and hobbies is 8.7%, but then I have toys and hobbies down here for 3% and 5%. So I'd have to really pull that in there and understand it. But the thing that I like the best is, yeah, in collectibles, I sold $447.97 in Pez dispensers. That's crazy.
Wow. That is,
Yes, that's insane.
wow.
Yeah. So DVD movies, I made like 400 bucks. VHS tapes, I like to sell them. It's down. That's the only item that's down over last year. And I sold $373 in VHSs, 1.6% of what I sold. So there's a lot of different things. Collectibles, automobile, spark plugs. I sold $320 worth of spark plugs this year.
Wow.
Right? So it's crazy. So toys and
Well,
hobbies,
you had them specialty spark plugs
they did. I
you
had
got a
those
hold
ones
of.
for
Was it like for a
the
Model T or something?
yeah, Model T and Model A spark
Yeah.
plugs. So
Which is that is a rare find, folks. But that's
it's yeah, that was only so $340 worth of spark plugs was eight sales. So that's cool.
those are high valued spark plugs.
Exactly. They were just I ran into them at a yard sale, and the guys, oh, these are for a Model A, and these are for a Model T. All right. I bought them for like next to nothing. I turned it into $346, $364, excuse me. But I don't know how to break that down any better than that. But you know what? If I go back
How
and
did
say,
it
you know what,
compare to your previous year?
I'm up 47% over the
That's
previous
pretty
year,
good.
right? And then if I go in and go, look, I didn't really start selling until I lost my job or I left my job and I became a reluctant reseller.
Reluctant
So
full
if I take
reseller.
September, October, November, December, 4 months,
That made your year, didn't it?
yeah, that was $17,000 of it.
And see,
So
there's the
you know,
thing, folks. Though
17 grand divided by four, that's decent money.
I want to go back and I want to tell you, we say it all on here all the time. If you're a reseller and you're watching us, get an accountability partner. We actually have a text group now of a bunch of us that have become friends, and we text and we try to hold each other accountable. Ben's, excuse me, Ben's did 47% more the year he and I were doing it together. I'm
But
sure
and
he
then
increased over the
exactly,
years before.
exactly. In the time though, compared to previous year, when I was doing it full time, I was up 242%. And in that time frame, there were times I have been a reluctant reseller and truly reluctant, and I haven't worked as hard as I probably could have, and I still have
Yeah, when we first started,
40,000 things to list.
he was trying to get, and he finally got to where he was listing 100 items in a day,
Mhm.
and then he quit. He's like, "That's too much work. I'm watching
Yeah,
football for 3 days."
exactly. You know what? This is definitely something you could do full time and do it as your thing. But as I started looking into it, the cost of insurance and all these different things, I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready for this. I'm going to get a job. Just like I'm getting a job, I'm going to move to Savannah, work for my company that I used to work for. They offered me a great job, and then try that, and then buy a house there. But I'm looking for the specific house, the eBay mansion. That's what I'm going for. So we'll keep you in line with that. So that's my plan.
The
I want to get something
eBay
that's like mansion.
mansion.
I already have my Mick mansion here that we live in, and I'm not going to sell my house. I pretty much own 70% of it. So my wife is going to stay here. I'm going to move to Savannah, and then we'll figure it out from there. Maybe she'll move to Savannah. She's, oh, buy a beach house. I'll move there. Yeah, I don't have $1.2 million to buy a house on the beach. So instead, I'm going to buy an eBay mansion for 250 or less. That's my goal. That I can turn into an eBay center, and then have
Well,
some extra bedrooms. People want
if
to
you
come there and
think
hang
about
out.
it, now let's examine this, folks, just for a minute. Coming from a financial planner background, let's talk about this for a moment. Benz, how much are you spending on your storage units?
$400 a month.
Okay, so he's already thrown out $400 a month on storage units.
Exactly.
So if he can be somewhere around the $200,000, $300,000 mark,
$200,000 puts me about
about
maybe
900 depending upon taxes.
taxes and everything. There is about $1,200 a month.
So he's
If I rent a room, which I'm going to do for the first 2 months, it's about $800 a month to have a roommate and just have a room. So I'm going to go there for 2 months. So this is my goal for next year, and hopefully you guys keep watching the show, even though I'm not doing eBay, because I'm going to do eBay in a very limited. But my goal is to run eBay through January, move in February. I have a place that I can move into there that I've already set up. It's going to cost me $800 a month to be a roommate with a person in a house. I'll just have my room, but that'll cover all my bills, electricity, cable, and internet for 2 months. I'm signing a lease with them for 2 months for $800 a month. And then I'm going to shut my eBay store down for 2 months. I'm going to buy a house and make the eBay mansion. I'm going to move everything I got out of storage in there. I want to be around 200 grand, so I have $1,200 a month. So it's basically $800 I was spending plus the storage unit, and then we're going to go from there. We're going to fix that sucker up. I found a place that I really like. Now it's been on the market for 287 days, which sounds like there's probably something majorly wrong with it, but
can't be any worse than where I'm at.
yeah, I don't mind a fixer upper. The first two women that I dated were fixer uppers, so.
Anyway, Third time's the charm, right?
I got the charm. She's staying here in the freaking house.
She said she's not moving to a fixer upper till you get it fixed.
But
My
she
wife
moved
would be
there.
like, "Good job."
Yeah, no, she's staying here, and then I'm gonna fix that up, and then pay that off, and then maybe move her there in a year, and then but I'll buy her a beach house.
Well,
That's the goal.
tidbit of information, folks. Just and I'm gonna give Ben's this advice too. Do not buy a fixer upper to top of your budget. That's what we did. My wife was like, "Oh, it's super cute." So we got to fixer upper in the neighborhood but it was at the top of our budget. We're fixing
Two
this up
hundred grand's
as we
not
go. But it has been an experience. Again, maybe we'll do my channel. We'll talk
yeah.
as you do that. I'll put my
You can come
videos
down
of
and help me fix
remodel,
my stuff.
and we can finally do my launch of my channel. I've actually got it
Yeah,
all set up. Folks, I apologize. See, that's why I said if Ben's ever stops co-hosting this thing, I'm done
no,
because
I
he
get.
does
I'm never
all the
stop.
editing and everything. And Mike, we love you, but you putting in the chat room, this editing stuff is taking up all my time. Yes, dude, I had to go through COVID editing all the videos for where I worked, and it was a nightmare. So I've been putting it off. I don't really want to do it. I've made the videos, all except my eBay room. I decided I wasn't setting up a camera doing it. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm telling you, I'm going to buy a fixer upper. I found some for $37,000. I found a 2,000 square foot house that is gutted, that I could do whatever I want with it. And then I realized I'm not that much of a fixer upper.
That's
We're
not a
going to bring it
fixer upper.
down.
That's not a
No,
fixer upper. That's a
no,
contract.
that's a river down. That's a river down. Start over. Although I was looking, if I bought that, it already has the water, the septic, electricity there. I could rip that down and put up a. If you guys look up, they have these mansion sheds that are freaking awesome. They're like metal sheds, but they're like a mansion inside, and then like a 7 car garage. That would work perfect.
Oh,
They
what?
call them like
My gosh, it escapes me because my son's wanting one of those. What is it called? Anyway, we won't spend so much time on this. Yeah, trying to remember it, but it's got a particular name that they call it.
I'm trying to
Metal.
look it up. I can't find it.
What do they call a metal shed you live in? That's probably what you should Google. What do you call a metal shed you live in?
Yeah, there's some really cool. They're that.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of it, and it would
Yeah.
be cool. Here's the thing, so folks, he is going to run his to January, shutting down for 2 months while he makes the move, and then he's coming back. And his goal, probably, and it should be, is to pay for this eBay house. And he's going to be able to save $400 because once he gets a house, he's going to be able to come down and get everything out of the storage buildings, cancel those contracts. That puts $400 back in his pocket.
Move all of it myself because I am cheap. And then, but I want to find a place that has a house ish and some other property where I can either build one of those on it with a small house or a house that is massive that it needs complete renovation. And then I'll renovate it and make it the eBay mansion and invite people down to hang out because it'll just be me and my wife. I won't live there at all, ever. And then I'll sell this house here and move her to a beach house and then it'll all work out.
Hey, Mike, he's probably going to be hitting you up for a lot of like electrical stuff and breakers and
No, I'm going to do it all under code and it'll be fine.
undercode. Ah! What's that TikTok going around right now? When did he burn down his shed? Who did your wiring?
Oh, that'd be my nephew Tommy. He's excellent.
When did his house burn down?
About 2 years. How did you know his house burned down?
But you know what? That's the goal. So my plan this year. Last year, about 6 months, I didn't really run the store. So my goal, run it to January, move. February, March, I'm going to shut the store down, and hopefully by April, February, March, April, I'll have the store back up and running.
Sound like a plan. What's your monetary goal?
To double what I did this year.
So you want to go to 50? Because I think
I'm gonna do
last
50
year
grand.
I was pushing you. We said he's going to go to 100. Yeah, that honestly, folks, is it possible to go to a six-figure
Yeah,
income?
it is.
It is, but you are going to be working at like a full-time job. I
No,
mean,
I'm going to work a full time job. I think I can make
I'm talking
50
about
grand.
doing eBay. If you're
Yep.
gonna make a six-figure income on eBay, you're going to be working it as a full time job. Now, Ben's and I actually, because and folks, don't get like us. We used to said how we met was playing an online game. We'll admit it. And we're both very analytical people. So we'd sit there. He's in logistics. I'm in financial planning. We would sit there and we would map out ways to make it more. We had spreadsheets. We had a
We
game
played that
document.
game. Look, we played that game and we came up with a game plan. We had figured it out and tightened it up so good that we destroyed that server
The
to the
whole
point.
entire server. Yeah.
Oh, we were like, oh, this is crazy. And then we were like, okay, if you tell me a joke that makes me laugh, we won't attack you. There was like 40 people sending us jokes every day saying, please don't attack me.
But
You know,
yeah, and it was incredible how we were doing it. We were running it together, and
yeah.
what we've done now is Ben's got this wild hair. He's like, because we got away from the game. Once it got to that point, we were like, we've won this game, so it's not that
Once you've
great.
done everything you can do, why keep
Yeah,
going?
but we remain friends. And Ben goes, why don't we put that kind of energy into eBay? And I was reluctant.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to do that, and we're not giving you guys all the analytical stuff, but we've actually figured out. We've actually, because our minds are, I guess, a beautiful thing. What was that Beautiful Mind, the movie with, oh, what's his name? Then
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. We've actually figured out how you could actually make $1 million on eBay, and all you would do is travel around and source. But that's a whole different plan, and that's way
We're
down the
not
line.
there
We're not
yet.
near there yet, folks, because basically right now is we're just trying to get. I'm just trying to get to where I would like to eventually be a full time eBay reseller. I really would, and I would like to get to where, but it's got to support me. I can't look at my wife and say, "I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to cook any food this week. We're going to be eating rice and ramen for the next 3 months." So I am going back to work as well. I've got a job offer I've signed that I'm taking, and then one that I'm looking at. I've got another interview with them this week. So I'm going to be going back to that because honestly, $2,400, folks, that's not going to get it for me. And I don't have the inventory that Ben's has. So I've still got to build my store in the process of doing that. So you guys are getting that perspective. Ben's has the inventory, but there's some other things that play into that. And so I'm not making excuses. We didn't want to be full time resellers at this time,
I don't.
at this
I
point
don't.
in our life. We wanted to build it up so we can fall back on it and then take it from to the next level. My goal, $10,000. His goal's 50,000. So they're not what they were last year, but we're not as wide eyed. We're a little more experienced, as you guys can tell if you go back and listen to our podcasts at the very beginning versus
Yes.
now. And hopefully, we're being able to share some of this with you. It's not that we want to talk you down or tell you it's unrealistic. It's not. It's very realistic. It is extremely realistic to make a six-figure income and enjoy part of your life working on eBay. Guys do them all the time, and we have seen it's very possible.
Really.
Effort and time.
I agree. It takes effort and time. And I have invested in a lot of $5, which I need to sell because I don't want to just throw it away because I already invested in it. And you know what? I want to retire at 60. I'll be 52 this year. So we got 8 more years to figure it out. So if I buy a place for 200 grand, I'm pretty sure I can pay that off before I'm 60. If you don't have a house payment, that makes a huge difference. If you don't have that $2,000 a month or $1,500 a month nut to pay. Plus, I want to buy at a house other than where I live because I still need to make $1,500 a month to live here, even after I pay it off because all the freaking fees to live here. I don't want to. Don't buy a house in a HOA and all that and the other.
If you look at most full time resellers, they're not living
Hmm.
in the expensive gated HOA communities. They're not. And a lot of them, and guys, we're friends with a lot of you. A lot of you watch our show. We appreciate each and every one of you. You can comment and tell us if we're wrong. Maybe you are living in one. Hey, great. Maybe you're married to a doctor. That's awesome if you
That's
are.
the people who can afford it. It's the ones who's
Um,
married that make money.
but
So
here's the kicker: there are a lot of people like the one I was just talking about, third, the bearded thrifting machine. He and his wife are both full time resellers.
yeah,
He and his wife both. But Myrtle Beach is an expensive place to live. Don't get me wrong. If you're living on the beach, if you're living in Myrtle Beach proper, where most of your average everyday folks live, it's not as expensive as
yeah,
living in Sun City, Florida.
yeah.
Because let's face it, Florida is probably outside of California and New York City. Florida is probably one of the most expensive states to actually live in. So that's what
Uh,
Ben's is talking about because it's the cost of living. And these are folks who are decently well off, and it's a high cost of living down there. Now, it's, again, Hawaii and Alaska, I get it. I'm the guy who paid $6 for a 20-ounce Mountain Dew in Alaska, but I hadn't seen one in 4 days. So I was willing to pay $6 for it. But there are places you can live and do this, and Savannah's not,
and I won't
but
live in Savannah. I'm gonna live
yeah.
outside Savannah, Haynesville, somewhere around
But
there.
you and your wife have
Somewhere.
also talked about moving closer to like her mom when you retire and that kind of thing too.
Yeah, I agree.
So
But there's no way we're gonna live in freaking Cleveland, Tennessee. Have you been there?
no, I'm not.
Yeah, there's nothing there. The Chinese buffet isn't even Chinese food. I was at the Chinese buffet in Cleveland, Tennessee, and there was a guy who worked at the Chinese buffet heating up a Michelin's meal in the microwave out in the middle of the room because that's what he's going to eat. That's how good the food was. That $1.49 microwave meal was better than what they had on the buffet. That was the worst
Well,
Chinese food I ever had.
but anyway, we won't crack on other towns. We'll try to stay away from that. There
No,
is
no,
just,
I'm not cracking on it. It's actually a nice place. Everybody's cool there, but
I'm not going to stay in High Point, North Carolina all my life. I'm not.
exactly.
I'm just not. I'm not. It's getting too expensive to live here, folks. And I could go into some geopolitical stuff here that's raising the cost incredibly. One, I'm not going to go into it. It's
Not even me.
crazy what they're doing in this town. It used to be a really great town, and now it is. If you like high taxes, move to High Point, North Carolina. But anyway, but so that's our goals. $10,000 for me. I think I'll easily reach it. And that's gonna, because here's the thing I've noticed: eBay has paid for this eBay room.
Mm-hmm.
So what I told my wife was my goal now is to finish the eBay room and get it really going and get it to start paying for our other remodeling projects throughout this house. Because here's the thing: current value on the house we live in right now, as it says, is around $370,000. But if we can bring it up to the other houses in the neighborhood, because this is it's one of the nicer houses in the neighborhood, but they did not keep it updated. They didn't, so it became one of the fixer uppers in the neighborhoods. This is an older, established 1960s neighborhood. So if we can remodel it and bring it up to code, which is what we're doing, replacing insulation, making it an efficient home, those kind of things that have been done to some of these other homes, we're probably talking about a half $500,000, $600,000 home here in our neighborhood, and then we can sell it, move to a cheaper location with lower taxes, and use that money for buying a house outright so we don't have a house payment. And for this is financial planning 101. And that's what Ben's doing. I got two houses. Get one in Tampa, get one in Savannah. I've got them both. I can sell them both and then buy this, that, the other, and live off of eBay because, again, eBay's a lot of fun.
Exactly, and that's my goal.
But
Right, I want to take what I got, manipulate it, and then when I turn 60, I want to just say, "Hey, I'm doing eBay full time."
yeah, and it's a great thing to do. It is work. Don't get me wrong. If you're
I
looking for
think
something to do,
easily you can make, if you work hard, you can make $5,000 a month easily.
oh, I think, and I do, yeah, easily.
I think you could easily make $100,000 a year and put 50 grand in your pocket after what you've done. And then if you don't have a house payment, you're living a pretty good life.
In
So
most parts of the country.
yeah, we'll move to whatever part of the country you need to move to.
Anyway, anything else for our folks? I think we want to make sure we didn't. Some of you guys who are just stoned upon us and thinking about reselling, don't get discouraged. We're at a
Yeah,
point where we're having to change some things up because we've realized, hey, wait a minute, we've done some things wrong, we've done
mhm.
some things good. We've gotten in with some great guys who are doing this full time. We're going, wait a minute, we're doing some things that they're doing differently and it's working better. So we're
Yeah,
looking, you always want to, what is the old adage is, and I don't remember who came with this quote, but you always look where you want to be, see who's there, and figure out how they got there by asking questions and getting them to share things with you. And that's what Ben's and I are doing. So hopefully you guys are plugging in. Some of you are just we love the fact that you like it.
Yeah, I thought the old adage was "Don't shit where you eat."
That's
But
another one.
okay, I'm
That's
just saying
another one. That's not the one I'm talking about here.
that's different.
But you figure out where you want to be. And so becoming friends with guys like Biscuit Butt and Alex and
Yeah,
Mike and the
people
guys
that are
on
doing it.
Trash to Cash, people that are doing it, and we're going, wait a minute. Y'all are doing things
Yes,
a little different than we are over here. We like this part. This is working well for us, but we want to gravitate what you're doing too and pull it into what we're doing. And and if we can pass that on to you as well, that's a plus for you.
I mean, that's the whole idea of this podcast is we don't know what we're doing. We do. We have a little bit of knowledge, and we're growing and learning and trying to say, "Hey, follow us, come with us, and help us out." We're going to figure out things that this works. Hey, this works, and we'll yell it out to the heavens. But there's going to be other things that we'll do and be like, "Oh, don't do that." Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Don't
no,
make
that was
shop
a bad
drip
idea.
your number one sourcing. That's the bad idea.
Yeah, but there's other things we'll be like, "Hey, try this, do this, try that." We tried this, it worked. This didn't work. You know what? Thank you guys for listening.
You have to cut this way down. But we are so thankful for each one of you that are listening. I can't believe 105 people now have subscribed to listen to us.
But you know
Uh,
what? We're not super intelligent or great at what we're doing, but we're trying, and we keep trying, and we keep trying.
Let me sum it up. Here's something I taught my son and my daughter from the time they were very small. It's an acronym, OPMs. Stands for other people's mistakes.
There you go.
If you can learn from other people's mistakes, then you get the knowledge without having to pay for it. And that's a lot of our podcast here is sharing with you guys what we're doing that works, what we're doing that doesn't work, mistakes we've made, things we're doing. And this is part of it here. It's new year, revamping the whole eBay room. I realized you've got to be organized.
Thank you guys for listening.
Absolutely.
Episode 102, 100 episodes in, and
A
we finally have
realistic
over
episode.
100. Yes, a realistic episode. You know what? We'll see what next year brings. Have a great week. We'll talk to you later.